What is up? Today I'm in the garage with the Golf. When I exit the highway and hit the brakes, I get a shimmy, a pretty bad shimmy. I check out the brakes and I think I know what it is. These rotors have a pretty significant ridge on the edge, and I have not touched the front brakes since I've owned this car. Both rotors are pretty bad, even though there is a bit of pad left, but I'm pretty sure this is the issue. So I'm gonna see how cheaply I can fix it. So now you can get a better look at that ridge I was talking about. And these are pretty glazed and they're not smooth. There's like a lot of hills and valleys as I run my finger across this rotor. So yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get these turned, because there's a place less than 3 miles from my house that'll turn them for like 20 bucks. I can never remember what size these are. Taking a guess. Man, I'm on today. This is a 7mm hex. Bungee cords on the ready. Come on. Come on, buddy. Oh, now that one was on there. So, the caliper is loose from the bracket, but that ridge that's on the rotor is not allowing me to pull this off. And rather than fight it, I'm gonna see if I can compress the caliper while it's still mounted here. So I am going to crack the brake fluid reservoir. And since I will be replacing the pads, let's see if I can get in here and compress it. No. There we go. I compressed it just enough. There we go. So these are the old pads, which will be getting replaced. Even though there's quite a bit of pad left, the combination of the pad and these rotors is no good. Good old bungee cord time. Will these fit through here? Yeah, boy. I'm gonna hook it up here on the spring and let them dangle. Now I'm gonna take off the rotor. A cool thing about these is that this bracket is part of, I guess you call it the knuckle, and you don't have to take off where the caliper mounts, but we still have to remove this screw. So let's see if we're lucky today. And we are. I think I had to take these out when I replaced this axle. So yeah, now these can be a pain, but sometimes you get lucky. Boom. Yeah, so that was easy enough. I'm gonna play the same game on the other side, and then I'm off to the shop. But check this out. That ridge is pretty gnarly. It's almost 1mm deep, so hopefully there's enough meat left on these rotors so that I can just get them turned. And that boot is already messed up. All right. So I will be doing more than just replacing the pads and getting the rotors turned. You see, that is the piston boot, and it is open. I mean, it's just kind of crumbling. So let me go ahead and bungee this up, but I will be needing this boot, so I'm gonna see if one of the local stores has it. And while I'm searching, I'm gonna go ahead and recap the brake reservoir. So I made sure I could get off the driver's side rotor, and then it was time to go. Well, I got lucky. There is one store nearby that has the repair kit for the caliper, so I'm gonna go pick it up. And I gotta go to 3 stores. I gotta go to an Advance, an O'Reilly's, and an AutoZone. But at least everything I need is nearby. I wanted to turn the rotors, but O'Reilly said they were too thin. So I had to go to Advanced, and AutoZone to pick up new pads and rotors. But since I was already going there, it wasn't that big of a deal anyway. I just didn't want to spend the extra money. I'm gonna go ahead and do the passenger side because it looks like it's gonna be easier. Nice fresh rotors. I love a nice fresh rotor. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the screw in. But I will use a little bit of anti-seize on the caliper screw because these can be a pain. Yeah. Since the other boot is messed up, I want to take a look at this one, and it looks fine. While I was at the auto parts store, I would have bought a second one if they had one in stock, but they didn't. So I just have one, and for today, that's okay. So what I'm gonna do is put the old pad back in for a second and use my compress tool to compress it. I went ahead and cracked the brake reservoir again. And it's moving nicely. I hate when you have to fight these. This is fantastic. All right, I hope that's good enough, but if not, it's easy enough to compress. And it's good to see this has the anti-vibration backing, so I'm gonna go ahead and slide it right in. And the pad that goes on this side is different than the one that goes on this side. So you can see the difference in the pads. This one goes on the outside, that one goes on the inside. It has the larger clips, shorter clips. The shorter clips go here. Now I don't know the OEM way to put it in, but I've seen that it's easier to slide one side in, push it in, and then slide it down like this. Yeah, and that looks to be just enough to fit it over the new rotor. But what I will do is install these new, I don't know, bushings or guides for the slide/bolt that holds the caliper to the bracket. So I'm gonna take these out, clean them up and lube them up, and I'm gonna push those out. See if I can just push them out like this. There you go. I have decided not to replace them with the new ones. Now I made sure I got a set that had new slides, but they did not come with the cap. They leave it open, and I do like that the original ones have that little cap. So I may order some OEM Volkswagen ones, but yeah, I mean, it'd be nice if the new ones had it, but they don't. And I like the cap. So I am gonna put new lube in here and make sure these slide in and out nicely. But other than that, I'm just gonna throw them back in. Oh, they clean up nicely. Again, they don't gotta be show quality, but they have to have a nice, smooth finish with no gunk. See, there's a bit of gunk on this one. So I'm putting the originals back in. Let's see how hard that is. Let's see if lube will help. And it does help. Yeah, lube helps a lot. Sometimes I believe putting lube on stuff may be the placebo effect. You believe it's gonna help, so it does. And other times, the task seemed impossible before the lube. All right, so I'm gonna do the same thing with this one. Let's put this guy back in. I'm gonna apply lube to these. How much lube? I don't know, that much. Maybe a little more. Work it around a little bit. There. Is that too much? I don't know. Then I will gingerly reinsert it in here. What does gingerly mean? Is that the right use of that word? Now let's see if we can put this bad boy back on. Did I leave enough space Yes, there's plenty of space. But I just kept, jiggling it back and forth, and eventually just sank right in. So I'm just gonna line these up and get them started. This was a long overdue job. I should have done it a long time ago. But since my cars rotate as the daily, I wasn't so concerned when it would vibrate. I was like, ooh, I wasn't driving it every day. But I've been driving it more lately, and it's very annoying. In working on Volkswagens and Hondas, Volkswagen does some things, I'm like, that's easy. Honda does some things, I'm like, that makes sense. But it's not the same across cars. Usually the Honda is easier, but in terms of these brakes, they are not bad at all. And then the lovely caps. So this side is done, but I will hit this area one more time because I got it a little bit dirty. Let's see if it picks up on the camera. So with this side done, I'm going to direct my attention to the side with the messed up boot. But that will have to wait until the next video. I had some family stuff come up that made me change course on the brakes a little bit. I also discovered an issue with the oil pan and the radiator, and I would like to address them while I have the Golf in the garage. If you would like to follow along and see how I address these issues, hit subscribe. If you would like to see the things I've already done with my '99 Golf, check out my playlist. Thanks for watching. Take care.